I'm back to talk about the Brandon Ingram extension slash new contract. Now that we know the numbers, we can project out a little bit more and understand how much room we have for what and what not, right? So ultimately, we have to think about, obviously, the first apron number, which we know is 195 million. But I left out a certain number just to not make it confusing in my last projection. But the salary or the luxury tax threshold is 187 million. So now with Brandon Ingram's amount, and we'll go over it in a second, but let's look at the overview. We're looking at 177 million, almost 178 million on the books next year. So basically we have 9-10 million under the luxury tax threshold, plus another 8 million over it to the first apron. So we can actually operate in the luxury tax, and then at the end of the year we can maybe ship a guy off and just get off a little bit of salary and come under that number. So the taxes are due on the final day of the season. So I think it's when the championship goes out, then that's when all the tax bills are due and whatnot, and that's when it's calculated, and then a new fiscal year starts, right? So we have about 18 million ish under the salary or under the first apron, right? And then we have 9-ish before the luxury tax threshold. So let's go back here and look at Brandon Ingram's contract. So in my video, I said maybe a 35 mil this contract would work, and for if it was going to be a steal. But Masai knew that he needed still a little bit room next year, so he could hold an Ochai and still be able to field a proper roster. Because we did actually pick up Battle, so his amount actually got added too. So it's there's a bunch of different pieces that got added in here, and we'll go over it. Hold on. So basically, Brandon Ingram starts out at 36, right, for this year. Then next year, he makes 38. So basically a 2 mil increase. Then he makes 40 the year after, so another 2 mil increase. And then makes 42 in the player option last year, so another 2 increase. So we're not as strapped because we've actually backloaded the contract. I made a video a long time about backloading contracts and what it does for you. It provides you room for the here and now, but still that player receives their value over the number of years because the cap seems to be going up each year, right? So now that we understand Brandon's contract and we picked up Battle, we converted him and then signed him to a 3-year or a 2-year thing. It's rest of the year and then 2 years, yeah, something like that, right? And then we have Sean Shea on a 2-way, but this money doesn't go against our cap, so that's why it's purple. So right now we're sitting all right. We have enough room for our first round pick and second draft. Remember, we marked out maybe 10, 12 for that, right? And then 6 left over, maybe 3 for Boucher, 3 for Garrett Temple, and then that's a 15-man roster with Jamison Battle, Shed, Mogbo, Walker, Abaji, Grady, Scotty, Jakob, RJ, Emmanuel Quickly, Brandon Ingram is 11. Then we add in Sean Shea on a two-way, so one of the two ways is taken up. Then we have 2 draft picks, so that's 13 contracts if we don't two-way the one, which opens up a little bit more money. Maybe we get another role player or something. It depends what Masai wants to do with that money. Maybe he wants to get like a backup center. Maybe he's looking at Orlando Robinson, but that money's ultimately there, and we have a couple spots, so it all works out evenly. So we need like 2 additional players from the players we have, and that might be Garrett Temple or Chris Boucher and a center maybe, or just Boucher and Temple, and we look to play like Comshay more minutes maybe. Orlando Robinson, maybe we hold and do something with him. There's still we have flexibility just to get a backup center, but after that we're probably holding until we figure out what the team needs again, because we have to see how this team performs, right? To really know what the next piece, what the next move is. So right now I think we're in a good place. We have enough talent to really see if certain pieces are able to compete properly and do what they need to do in higher game situations, because we haven't really gotten that big test yet like that, like playoff wise, see how these guys do in the playoffs. So that's part of it too, but I think we're in a great position. Masai scaled the contract, so it's a similar to amount first year that I needed, and then obviously the cap will raise and whatnot, and everything will have still more flexibility to keep our prospects and not have to drop them right away. So it's a good deal. And then the years, obviously, like we're not strapped forever with the contract. If he has like a crazy career injury, and we can still maybe use his last year as like a bargaining chip for a higher caliber player, because we would be in a more competitive mode, hopefully, by that time. So there are options with it. Worst case scenario, I think ultimately the contract's a good one. And we're good at the moment, I think. We have a starting 5 that seems competitive enough, and we can see where some of these young guys come in and see how good they do under all of that. And it ties back even to my last video where I talked about who's actually worth a supermax. I think a lot of the performances of our rookies really shows how great of a leadership core we have right now. With like Temple's been really good for us. Scotty's really started to really command things. Pirtle's pretty decent as a vet. Boucher, Ingram, like quickly should be really big pieces now that Bruce and Kelly have left, right? So like I think we're really good at the moment. We're gonna still convey and maybe not pick as many and just bring in like 1-2 guys each year and build this up talent wise, and I think we're going in a great direction at the moment. Hopefully that was a good one. Clear enough, volume good. See ya.